Okay, sorry. We have takeoff. E4, E5, knight f3, knight f6.
Uh-oh, I don't like this opening choice from Swiftor. Although Ludwig plays solid, he brings the knight out. He doesn't take the pawn. But so far, this looks pretty standard by both players. I do expect Swiftor to play knight to f6 here.
Isn't he just giving away e5 here?
Yeah, this is a free pawn for Ludwig. I'm expecting Ludwig to take the pawn.
Nope, he goes for h3. He was worried about knight g4, meaning that he probably didn't see e5 since that would have protected that square at the same time. So now we have a chance to defend it. Okay.
So now Ludwig can take the pawn again.
True. At least there's rook e8, which seems like it could be tricky at the least, but you do have moves like d4.
I think black is probably okay. In fact, black might even be better there, but Ludwig plays pawn to d4, which I think is actually not a good move, because now black can take the pawn and move the rook to e8, and black creates a lot of threats in the center part of the board.
Right. So he has to play accurately here, but I think it makes sense to take the pawn. If he moves the bishop back, then he's just giving up a free pawn. So I think he'll see that since the two threats are very direct here.
Yeah, I think pawn takes pawn is obviously the best move, but it's not so clear to see. You can also take with a bishop here,
which he did go for. So we're just going to see some trades. And after the queen goes on to d4, I wonder if you'll see knight c6 developing with tempo.
Right, it's a very good move. Knight to c6 or rook e8 are probably the two best moves here for black. So he does play it. Okay, good move.
Okay, queen d2. So he's blocking his own dark squared bishop. And I'm worried because his king is still in the center of the board. So any moves like rook e8, maybe even taking right away, actually seem kind of tricky to deal with.
Yeah, I think black is clearly better. If Swiftor sees the idea of bringing the rook to the center of the board and putting pressure on the pawn in e4, I think he's going to be in very good shape here. He plays d6, which is also a reasonable move because he just wants to develop the bishop. So thus far, it looks pretty normal now. White is maybe very slightly better, possibly because he has two bishops, but neither side really can claim much of an advantage.
And the way Swiftor is playing makes me feel like he's more focused on his own plan and what he usually does than trying to see what Ludwig is doing and see if he can take advantage and capitalize on his mistakes.
Right, and that's, I think, one of the hardest things for these players who are relatively new to the game is to realize that you have to look at your plan, but also what your opponent is doing. It's not just simply my plan and that's it. And that's one thing that differs, I think, that differs a lot in chess from a lot of other games, that you have to be aware of what your opponent is doing as well. It's not just simply I have this straightforward idea, because there is basically no RNG in chess. It's more or less about just playing the best possible moves that you can.
That's why Robert Hess told you good skill, not good luck, and you roasted him, Hikaru.
Robert Hess, pro gamer, god gamer. Yes. Yep. Oats. Yep.
Chat, okay. Never forget. Okay, so knight e5. I like how he's playing this. He didn't see the main idea with putting pressure on the knight in the center, but he is finding very nice squares for his knight. Hopefully he'll develop the bishop as well at some point.
Yeah, so I like that he put the knight to the center of the board, attacking the bishop. Ludwig looks very, very focused, and he's concentrating quite a bit here. He doesn't seem as oh, dude, come up.
Doesn't he 500 subs? That's what chat told us. Oh man. Oh my god. No, we got to take the bishop. Take the bishop. Okay, that was a little tough to see. And Ludwig is so focused, I can't even tell from his expression if his camera stopped working or if this is actually what he's thinking. Okay, well, we can take a look on his stream as well. Let's do that.
I want to move my queen so my bishop can move and my queen won't lead it. It's like the blind leading the blind. I'll just do that. That's fine. It's not like he can do anything crazy. He's kind of choked off.
The blind leading the blind. That was good.
I don't even know what a good move for him is. I feel like I should move my knight here, actually. That'd be great. Why didn't I do that? That would have been excellent. I can still do it. No, he'll just take me. No, it's fine.
I don't know if he played queen e2 to develop his bishop on the dark square or if he saw the threat.
I think he probably saw the threat and he's trying to protect the bishop, but I'm not sure. I really don't have a strong opinion here either way.
I'm out.
Okay, now he moves the bishop. Good move. This is quite good by Ludwig.
Very gentle, soothing music in the background there.
Stop friending me. I don't want to be your friend on chess.com. What made you think I'd want to be your friend, hideous hiker?
Someone turn off his notifications. Poor hideous hiker thrown under the bus. Oh gosh.
Stop friending me. How is everybody friending me? Chess.com, help. Why do you all have pictures of Hikaru?
That's pretty funny. They're distracting him a little bit, and this is a big match for him because of the bet he put on the line. Oh,
yeah, so far I think the position remains very balanced. I don't think either side has much of an advantage, but again, both players are using a lot of time here, which will be important down the road as they get further in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Swiftor needs to
Swiftor.
move though. He needs to move quicker. He's using a little bit too much time.
Yeah, and that's the issue we saw in his last game as well. I think he just gets stuck around this stage, and it's tough. Okay, so he's trading off. Hopefully, he'll see that his rook is under attack here. C6.
Wait, why is Swiftor so
weaken
unhappy? He was just shaking his head.
Maybe he's also getting a lot of friend requests.
Possibly.
Just too many friend requests for both the players. I mean, he just has to move his rook over and he's fine. Or even block it. That might weaken his pawns
actually,
a
if he
bit.
blocks with the pawn, he's probably doing very well. But pushing the pawn, then the bishop goes back. You can then push the pawn to a5 to try and attack that bishop on b3. That would be very strong, but it's very, very hard to find in this sort of a situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But I remember he sat for maybe like 2 minutes in the last game where he made a big blunder. And I think you just end up getting tunnel vision. You remind yourself, don't give this piece up, but then you overthink for a position. You realize, oh my gosh, I spent so much time. I have to move. Then you make a move and then you blunder and it's stressful chess situation.
Right, but he played rook b8, which is also a completely reasonable move. And Ludwig goes f4, very strong move. Ludwig is moving really, really fast in this game. Does he have to go out on a date or something? Like he's moving really, really quickly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not okay. I'm going to stop making jokes about my earlier mistake. F4 looks like a good move. I think it was you who said last time he either makes incredible moves or just really bad ones.
Right. Wait, is this cam fit? Wait, what's with this cam?
Oh. Yeah, he just yawned so hard he broke the camera. It's a really good look there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, okay. So anyway, though, he's doing pretty well. He's up a lot of time on the clock. He's got nice bishops in the center. I think he's in very good shape here.
Honestly, somebody should clip that and help him make an emote from it instead of the usual Omega lol.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so knight g6. So now Ludwig, he's doing very, very well here. He should probably push the pawn to attack the knight as well, but he's not thinking. He's just refusing to think. Very interesting.
Yeah, because he has like less than a minute from when he started, so plenty of time. B3 is actually a pretty decent move because he can bring his bishop to B2, so he's continuing the development here. Hopefully Swiftor will try something like bishop e6. Even trading off the bishop from d5, I think is good for him to get more trades off the board, just to have less likelihood of blundering when he gets in time pressure.
Right. So I think bishop to e6 would be an excellent move here for Swiftor. I don't know if he'll spot it. Again, the position is really, really nice for Ludwig. The two bishops on the diagonals are just really going to be attacking down towards the black king. So I think in general, this is looking really, really good for Ludwig. And I'm feeling very confident for him.
That is fair. His bishop is on b2. I wonder if he's going to go for a cheap trick with something like queen d3, queen d4, going for the mate, because the f pawn can't move and block. Okay, that wasn't good. That was just a free piece. Oof. Well, it seems so far like Ludwig's 500 subs are going to be safe.
Yeah, I think unfortunately it's going to be very hard for Swiftor to come back because the bishops are just aiming right down towards the king here. So there's a lot of pressure. He can bring the other rook to the board, and the king just has no safety at all. It's just in a world of hurt.
Yep. The pawn on g7, like you mentioned, under attack. Swiftor, on top of that, low on time. He can't do defending moves like pushing the pawn because he is pinned. It's honestly such a tough position to find any decent moves in.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult here. And I think Ludwig is in very good shape. I expect him to win this game here, up nearly 7 minutes on the clock, I think, at this point. Well, 6.5 right now, soon to be 7. And no real ideas for Swiftor, and Ludwig has the two bishops aiming right at the king. So I think in general, this is a very tough spot to be in if you're Swiftor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. I feel like it'll be tough. So he will have lost all of his games in the bracket. And, we may have seen that yesterday with E-Rob, but of course he got that pity win from Voy Boy. So that didn't end up happening. But how do you think his psychology is going to be after this game?
I don't think it's going to be affected that much, because when he lost the game to Box, he was in a very good mood after that game. He realized he's relatively new to the game. He doesn't have high expectations, so I think certainly in terms of Swiftor, he's got the right positive attitude where it's like, I'm just going to try to play good moves and see what happens, rather than thinking, okay, I should beat these people or I'm better than them, which is really the attitude he should have since he is so new to the game.
That's fair. And chat, yes, E-Rob might not be winning in chess, but he's winning in life. I mean, congratulations to him for his baby girl yesterday. He must be, one of the feeling like the happiest he ever has in his life. So focus on that, chat. It's more important.
He did get a W yesterday, though, as well. He did.
That is true. So just so many W's all around.
Yep.
Okay, well, I like rook AF1. It's a very straightforward move, and just continuing to put pressure on F7.
Yeah, I think anything where he doesn't lose this rook here, like rook F1, queen F3, there are many moves that are very good here. He just has to find one of them.
Right. As long as he doesn't make a blunder like queen G5 or rook G4, that might give Black a bit of counter chances.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't expect him to make a blunder like that, but you never know. It is Ludwig. He can be very up and down sometimes.
That's how he keeps it interesting. Why don't we take a listen on his stream again?
So then if I move my queen here to block that, and then he does it anyway, right? Let's just say, for example, I move my queen here, and then he takes with bishop. I take with queen, then he gets a free rook. So then I could block with rook, but then he just takes with bishop. I could just move my king straight up. But that seems lame and weird. I have no idea what to do. I got nothing. That
there
just
you
seems
go.
good because it seems like it's my
move.
attack. I'm not worried about my defense. I could get checkmated
He found
in
the best,
three here.
one of the best moves.
Yeah,
Joseph could really whip it out.
I think
have
he's
no
doing
clue.
extremely well.
I don't know if he knows about this. I assume he does, because he set it up
True. I
beautifully.
mean, bishop takes h3 works, but
I guess I could have moved a pawn forward. No, but then there's still no protection
even
for
with
this
bishop
guy.
takes
Yeah,
h3,
I got
think
nothing.
rook takes f7.
if he sees it, I just don't know if he's made I haven't seen him arrow it. So the problem is if Swiftor does that and he doesn't see it.
Right, so he did take on h3.
Yeah, he did see it. Okay, think about this. I take right here.
He's seeing it.
He's in check. He must take.
Just don't move your queen away. Keep protecting that mate. That's the only thing that could go wrong here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, very important not to move the queen away from the pawn on g2.
Something like bishop takes f7, rook takes f7, and if he brings his queen to like c4 to attack, again, unlikely, but that would be one blunder scenario.
Right.
Do you think in rapid chess it helps to look at possible blunders just so you don't accidentally fall into them?
Yeah,
If I move queen to f3 and I get the triple, the legendary triple stack.
Okay, that was the
there a way he can
least
mate?
clear
Like, let's just
response
say
I've
he
ever
takes
had in
with
my life.
bishop.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Hikaru.
yeah, I was listening to Ludwig. He
And I
said the
could
triple
take with
stack. Yeah, I
queen.
mean, I think certainly looking at blunders is important. Generally, I don't approach that way. I try to find the absolute best move, but I was too busy being awed by the legendary triple stack.
No, that's fair. I think my audio was a bit delayed, so to me it seemed like he wasn't talking. But okay, we're back to our usual board now. Queen f3, so he's attacking the bishop. He's also putting more
Right.
pressure on f7. Very nice move.
Yeah, Ludwig's played this game extremely well. Used a little bit too much time there in the middle, perhaps, but all the moves he's played have been very, very precise and very, very crisp.
And he still has 5 minutes, so even if he's taking a lot of time now, he played so quickly before that, it doesn't really matter.
Right, yeah, and I just think this is looking really, really good for Ludwig. Looking to win this game. He looks very primed to win this and move on and play against I think Choco Bars if I have the standings correct.
All right, Choco Bars versus Ludwig. That would be an interesting matchup. I don't even know how.
Yeah, Ludwig is crushing.
True, he
Crushing.
is just up 2 bishops, but not just up 2 bishops. The files on the Black King are going to be open, so he's going to be able to get some kind of crazy mating attack. And Swiftor is under a minute on the clock.
Yeah, I think this is pretty close to loss for Swiftor at this point. With down just the 2 bishops, I think this is game over pretty much.
Oof, some tough times. Yeah, I don't know what to tell him other than hopefully it's been a learning experience. Also, we got a raid from Robert Hess, who puts the Hess in chess. Thank you so much, Robert.
Undress the Hess.
Oh, don't get too excited, Hikaru.
Isn't that the saying, or am I wrong?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. No, I'm kidding. Of course. No, I know
thought
he
that
was
was saying.
Got you fast. Okay. So you're right. Ludwig is definitely about. I mean, he has like mate in 3 ideas here. If he sees rook takes g7 and then moving the rook out of the way.
Yeah, he can create the discover check with the checkmate here. Yeah, Ludwig is just on his way to victory in a couple of moves here. He can move the he moves the rook back. Just sees the checkmate immediately, and very, very impressive victory by Ludwig.